And we are live.
We're best friends. Should I put it here?
Live to the world.
That's much better, right? Yeah.
Always better. Always better.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Not just smart, they heal more. They're not just smart, they heal more. They're not just smart, they heal more. They're not just smart, they heal more.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, fans and friends. We are back once again. I am the custodian of charisma, the ophthalmologist of optimism. She is the sultan of sarcasm and the sorceress of sass. I am Brady. She is Danielle. I am the ghost. She is the coat. We are the best friends in all the land. We are the heel marks, and this is everybody's favorite Ring of Honor post show. This is Mark of Honor. Wherever you're watching, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitch, whether it's YouTube, wherever it is, go ahead and hit that like button. You see the comment section, go ahead and join the conversation. Be a part of it. We want to hear what you guys think about the June 6th edition of Ring of Honor. Just like we're going to be talking about it.
Yeah.
Right, Danielle?
Right, Brady.
What did you think of the
actually,
June 6th edition?
I like this episode. There was hiccups
did?
like noises. Yeah, I liked it. I like the matchups.
Okay.
I think the order of the matches was a little weird. But I liked the matchups. Like, I thought all of them made sense.
Right. No. I mean,
you know what I mean?
From what you're saying, it's clear from what you're saying, and I agree. It's kind of seems like, and we'll get to it when we get to it. But you've got a TV championship match. Why isn't that main eventing? Like, why is that like that? And like, even when that happened, I remember like texting you about it because in my mind, I'm kind of like, what match could possibly be happening tonight on this show that would be more important than not just Kyle Fletcher defending his championship, but he's defending it against Dalton Castle. This is a fairly legitimate threat.
Right. It's not proving ground. It's not like a jobber or a local talent. It's someone who is an ROH vet. Like, he's a veteran in ROH, so you would think, it could be a possible threat. So it was very weird on the placement. I didn't understand why it didn't main event.
Yeah, like that did seem a bit weird. But and you know what? Let's just get into it. Actually, let's talk about it. Kyle Fletcher and Dalton Castle. Before we actually get into the match, because before the match happened, we saw Dalton Castle backstage with Lexi, and I loved this, where Dalton's like kind of a serious Dalton. He's like, listen.
Yeah.
Johnny TV was in my head, and I was going through a lot, and I put you through a lot, Lexi. So I got to apologize to you, which honestly, Lexi deserved that apology. She had been put through a lot.
100%, with like waving to her and with his feet, to like throwing cheese, to being in a dumpster. He put her through a lot of stuff.
she was his babysitter. Like,
yeah.
Like really, so to see him calm down and apologize and focus on his TV championship, I'm like, wow, the growth. And then out of nowhere, Johnny TV, and I'm just like, it's like that toxic ex returns. It's like, no, Dalton's doing so well without you.
Especially talking about his sunglasses. He's like, those are very expensive. I want those sunglasses back. And he's like, I don't know what's wrong with you anymore.
Well, that was the funniest thing, where it's like, he just out of nowhere pops up. You stole my sunglasses. I know you did it. Where are they?
Yeah, because Dalton Castle is just walking around with his sunglasses. Fun fact, though, I have to say, when they were talking about Quam and they started saying Quam a lot, I was looking up the exact definition of it at one point, and then I found a fun fact that qualm is not a Scrabble word, so you're not allowed to use it in Scrabble.
Whoa. Wait, why?
I don't know if it's because of the QUA. I don't know, but like, yeah, it's like qualm is not.
I didn't realize Scrabble had so many serious rules in terms of like what's a word.
Certain things, yeah. But it was just funny
because if it was a word, it was a word.
Because I was looking up qualm and I was like, "What? How do you spell qualm?" And then I looked it up, and then that was the first thing that popped up, and I was like, I have to share this on the show because it's such a ridiculous fact. Right.
That's so bizarre. Yeah. But yeah, this entire segment almost seemed like a giant acid trip.
Yes.
But with them just kind of like, mine's bigger. And the whole thing was weird too, because it's just kind of like Dalton Castle was like, oh, I've got big plans after I win the title. You know, huge. Oh, well, my plans are bigger than yours. And then we just get into this. Once again, Dalton Castle and Johnny TV should like be working together on like a YouTube or like, you know, like they should be working together outside of wrestling. Because their comic timing works. Like they've got similar senses of humor, and you're like, if all you're doing is like 5 minutes on Ring of Honor television every week, you're kind of wasting a little bit of that comic sensibility. Like they could be doing so much more. You know what I mean?
They could be doing what a lot of wrestlers been doing nowadays since I would say 2020. No, before 2020. Start a Twitter war. Fight with each other on Twitter. Like Twitter is really.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say start like a Twitch streaming platform and just like Dalton Castle and Johnny TV would just like do stuff like that. Yeah,
100%. But like if they started doing like Twitter wars, like we saw that with Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, we saw it with Nikki and Matt Cardona. We've seen it with multiple people over and over again, where there's constantly this Twitter. Ooh, are they really mad at each other? Are this people could do that because Dalton Castle's money and so is Johnny TV.
The weirdest thing I think about this was the fact that, like, with Johnny TV saying, oh, I've got big plans, huge, maybe that would have worked if he wasn't on the show. Like, if he didn't have a match going on. But then we see him in a match where you're kind of like, why is he in it? Because him, Griff Garrison, and Cole Carter aren't really, like, they have no alliance.
That was weird, so even
even commentary was kind of talking about it, and we'll get to it when we get to it, but commentary was kind of talking about, like, oh, maybe Johnny TV, if these two listen to him, they could be something. So it's like, maybe we get that moving forward, but it kind of just seemed weird, where he's like, yeah, I've got big plans, but then he just ends up losing. You know what I mean? Like, the whole thing just kind of seemed like, why is Johnny TV really in this segment other than just to make us laugh? Like, that's why it was like this entire thing was an acid trip. Because does it mean anything? Like, they went on for so long about, like, the big. You know what I mean? Like, that shit, it was just ridiculous, kind of.
It was almost just so we could laugh, like you said.
Right, exactly. It was like a big comic break.
Didn't make any sense. Yeah. I mean, I laughed a lot. I'm not going to lie.
Right, exactly. That's what it was. We got Queen Aminata, no laughing matter when she's in the house. She defeated Maserati tonight, and I enjoyed that Caprice gave us a bit of Maserati's backstory in terms of the fact that wrestling, as she puts it, saved her life. She was addicted to drugs. I believe it's actually she's celebrating 2 years of sobriety this year.
Yeah.
So, like, when it comes to squash matches, or for lack of a better term, or when Queen Aminata is facing someone who is kind of a local talent, you don't really get to hear great stories like that too often. So I'm glad the commentary did, go ahead and give us her backstory.
I think one thing we always do praise on ROH is commentary putting over local talent. Anytime there's someone who doesn't get their entrance and we don't really know them and they might be a local talent that people do pop for, they make sure that there's meaning behind them and they're not just this random person that we don't know. And I feel like they go the extra mile, whereas like if you're watching WWE or an AEW show, I don't feel like they do that as much, where I feel these two really take time and effort to make you actually care about these wrestlers that are facing the bigger names on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think commentary does a lot of the storytelling for the show.
Yes,
for the company. And it's like in WWE, you kind of know that almost anything commentary says is for a reason. WWE, Triple H, whoever's running it is like, hey, hammer this throw because we want We want to get this story pushed. In Ring of Honor, I don't really get that sense. I kind of feel like Caprice and Riccaboni are out there on their own, and what they say is what they want to say.
Right.
So, like, to what he was saying about Johnny TV and Griffin Cole, I don't know if he was saying that because ROH does plan to put these three together and we are going to watch it unfold, or if that's just kind of them trying to tell a good story with a random pairing in the main event. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But I really like that they do that. It makes me very happy that they actually put time and effort into caring about the wrestlers, because I want to care about them. I just don't want to, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, okay, this person's going to lose and I don't really, how am I going to get behind them or anything like that,
Right. No, it makes sense. And I love how when Queen Aminata does win this match, she's also kind of, she always takes advantage of the opportunity she gets to talk to the camera. That's promo time for her. So she's going to call out the champion. She's going to say, you see what happens? And I like that that wasn't the last time we saw Queen Aminata tonight. We got a proving ground match. Billy Starks defeated Zemea, and then Billy Starks wins the match. It's so funny. I didn't like what happened after this until we saw Queen Aminata, actually, because
it was weird, right?
It was so weird. Everything was weird. So first up,
strange.
Yeah, like the whole thing was weird, really. So Red Velvet kind of shows up, but Billy Starks almost looks like sad. Like it's almost like she knew Red Velvet was there, but she wasn't supposed. You know what I mean? Like that. Like so, her reacting to that and her doing the slow turn, that was off. Then she leaves the ring, and Red Velvet's kind of just like in the ring, and I hate those. Like I hate when somebody's made to just not attack the person simply because they left the ring. Like I hate that. But then Queen goes out. So you're kind of like, oh, okay. So Red Velvet had her scouted. She knew she was going to run away. It's okay. Queen Aminata's like, nope, I'm going to let you guys get your scrap in. But then it almost felt like even after that, it was just so weak. Where like then officials are breaking them up. And it's like all Red Velvet was doing was punching her. Like, so it's like if you were going to do that, if this was going to be the split up where you're getting mad officials involved, Red Velvet and her should have maybe taken it out to the ringside and actually gotten a little bit more aggressive. And you know what I mean? Like,
also, where's Athena? She just let her girl Billy Starks get the shit beat out of her. I was like, where's the other run-in? I was like, I thought we were doing a four storytelling. It was very weird and maybe telling that she didn't show up.
I thought that was weird also. I didn't know if maybe it was just like they had to do that because if Athena's there, then they'd both get their asses kicked. I don't know. So it's like,
I don't know.
But it was kind of weird that Athena wasn't there for her.
Yeah, I was like, Billy's come out for you. Where are you? I was like, is that planting a seed or was Athena already on her way home? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, also Athena, sometimes she goes on vacations and like Billy has to take care of minion overlord business on her own. So like sometimes Athena just has to do what Athena has to do. She can't just be around all the time. But I thought this was like, and this segment was weird. It was off at times, but it served the purpose, right? And Red Velvet seems so much more comfortable with Queen Aminata.
Oh my god, I know. I just kept thinking how much I love Red Velvet and how much I always like Red Velvet, but I'm really loving her here. And I don't need to voice my opinion on Queen Aminata because you know how I feel about her. I've loved her since '1, but like Red Velvet, totally winning me over, and I love it.
Right. No, Red Velvet's just on another level. She's so much more comfortable. And you just see even as they're leaving, like, Queen Aminata's doing the serving it up, and then Red Velvet's like getting in the face of the camera, like really speaking, saying, like, you think I'm not gonna get my lick back? I ain't no bitch. Like, like Red Velvet's just on another level. And I really hope Ring of Honor and AEW pull the fucking trigger with her, because the time's now. Red Velvet.
I wonder with this 4-way going on, like this thing with Athena, Billy Starks, Red Velvet, and Queen Aminata, I wonder if there is going to be a switch where, one of them is going to take the belt from another one. I'm just wondering if they're going to do both, if they're going to do one. Is it going to be at the same time? Are they going to break it down? I don't want it necessarily right away, but I mean, that's where we're going.
Right.
It's like, I just don't know who, is it going to be a switch where they both have it and now these are the two that have, so I just don't know what's going to go on with that.
I mean, if they did do that switch, it'd be interesting. But yeah, right now I think these are just really good competitors competing. Like in terms of both Athena and Billy Starks, they couldn't get better competition rivaling for those championships than these two right now. Like they're perfect. We talked about it a little bit, but then we got into the backstage thing that Dalton Castle and China TV had. So we didn't actually talk about the ROH TV Championship where Kyle Fletcher did defeat Dalton Castle. We talk about it on another level. I mean, Kyle Fletcher is really putting a stamp on his title reign with this match and with all the defenses he has.
My new thing to compare Kyle Fletcher to is Robert Irwin, Steve Irwin's kid, because he sounds exactly like him. As he was talking, I was just like, oh, you're an Irwin. And I've compared him numerous times to Will Ospreay, and commentary was doing the same. But yeah. I'm really liking this character. This whole thing I really like because I love that it was Dalton that was facing him for the title, regardless of him not winning. I love that even though, unfortunately, we lost the boys, we have more boys now. The boy in the front was getting down when they were doing the thing.
Yeah, you saw that?
I don't know who that was, but he was getting down. He was just
100%. Really, yeah, I saw that too.
I also didn't realize that Kyle Fletcher is 16-0. I saw that at the bottom, and I had to make a note of that. And I was like, "Oh, Kyle Fletcher's 16-0. I didn't know that." So
that's for 2024, or that's got to be like this year.
It was underneath his thing. So
right. We talked about that because part of being champion kind of comes with a streak at the very least, where you're not going to be getting defeated by anyone, especially on Ring of Honor.
Right, definitely.
But yeah, as soon as I'm sorry.
No. I just wanted to say, like, I really love Kyle Fletcher with the belt. I think he was the perfect choice to really put the belt on, and the belt is helping him. It's not just like a prop, like just a prop for no reason. Like he's really utilizing it and growing his character with it, and it's really fantastic to watch.
I'm curious if you think his reign is coming to an end, because after he defeats Dalton Castle, great match. Right. But then a little bit later in the night, we've got Cassidy Lee, and he is essentially challenging Kyle Fletcher. And it feels like it wasn't that long ago that we saw Cassidy Lee take on Kyle Fletcher. You know what I mean? Like it was like the last pay-per-view. Really? Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. And we know that wasn't the original plan. Cassidy Lee did get put in. The original plan was Ethan Page, but then obviously Ethan Page ended up leaving the company. So Cassidy Lee kind of just get thrown into that match. And so maybe now, and that was Cassidy Lee's, he was undefeated at the time also. Like he had that winning streak going on. And so then they threw that up there. Now they're trying to reestablish Cassidy Lee. And he even brings it up. You're like, I've got another winning streak. You are on a winning streak. So why don't we do this again? This time it's going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. I don't know I don't think they said this was going to happen next week. I don't know when the next ROH pay-per-view is, if they're building to that. So I don't know when this match is happening.
I think it's June 26th. I think that's the thing. So I think that's the next pay-per-view. Because then I know the 30th is AEW's Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door is the 30th.
Okay. But you think ROH?
I believe it's the 26th. Because I remember thinking, that's a GCW show.
So if ROH has a pay-per-view coming at the end of this month, then that makes sense that this would be the first match announced for it. Cassidy Lee going to take on Kyle Fletcher for the TV championship. 2 out of 3 falls. I don't know, because of the fact that we did see these two face each other at the last pay-per-view and now they're going back, I kind of think that Cassidy Lee has a better chance this time.
Yeah, but I don't think Cassidy Lee's going to take it from him. I don't think he's losing it anytime soon.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
It's interesting. It's like, on one hand, you should be right. And the way he talks about it, he's like, I'm the forever champ. I'm never going to lose this. But at the same time, we have to remember that, if AEW sees all, if they really want to do the best or do the most with Kyle Fletcher, then you do have him drop the title and you kind of take him off of a Ring of Honor.
No,
completely.
I want to see him on Ring of Honor. And correction, it's July 26th. It's
okay. So that's actually a ways away. So then maybe this match ends up happening. So maybe this match ends up happening like next week.
Maybe. I do have one question. Why was Kyle Fletcher wheeling around luggage while he was talking to Shotty Lee?
Because he said I was on my way out. I was leaving the venue.
He was leaving the venue with no shirt on?
He doesn't need a shirt.
Yes, he does.
She's fucking the TV champion. Doesn't need clothes.
I literally was like, why don't you have a shirt on if you're leaving the venue?
He obviously packed it by mistake in his luggage. Fuck it.
Shirt.
Didn't they say it was Vegas? I think where
I
was
think it was Vegas. All right, fine.
Then he doesn't need he doesn't need clothes in Vegas. You just
Yeah.
walk around.
I think this 2 out of 3 match is going to be really good.
Yeah.
Regardless
It is one of those where, like, I don't know why they do it if not to take the title off of Fletcher, though. Like, I don't know.
Right. Like, how many times can you possibly have Shotty Lee face Fletcher before he...
Right. Like, they're protecting Shotty Lee so much. And like we said, he gave up the winning streak to take on for the title at the last pay-per-view, but that wasn't the plan. You know what I mean? He kind of had to step up in that position. Here now for like a random Ring of Honor next week. Nobody asked for this. You know what I mean? Like they didn't need to give us a title match next week. So the fact that they are, and they're making it 2 out of 3, and they did announce it, and it is Shotty Lee, I'm almost kind of like, maybe they are just giving him the TV title. Maybe they decided, you know what? Let's just go all the way with Shotty Lee Johnson.
I mean, maybe. It's weird because I know this was long ago, but not that long ago. But I feel like he just got the title, Kyle Fletcher, and he still should be running with it. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah, I guess now that you mention it, it does kind of, for me, it feels like he's had it for so long, but I guess he really did just get it. Like
it's 6 months, right?
Something like that. Yeah, like beginning of this year. Yeah.
I think Shotty specifically said in the last 6 months, I've had it. He's like, I beat you twice in the last 6 months. So I think it was December was the match where they did it, right? It was December. So so it's 6 months, which 6 months is kind of long, but it's not that long. You know what I mean? Especially we probably feel like it wasn't as long because he was off TV for a while because he had those visa issues. So he really didn't.
Right.
So that might be why I feel like he hasn't been on it. Because I think as soon as he came back, it was fire again. You know, he was just like match. So
he never missed the beat.
Yeah, he was just like, oops, I couldn't do my shit.
Oopsie.
Yeah, oopsie.
Yeah, no, this match is definitely going to be fired though.
Oh yeah,
like 100% banger. And it's like if Shotty Lee does lose, then I almost feel like the reason they'd give us this match would simply be to turn Kyle Fletcher face. Like if Kyle Fletcher beats Shotty Lee, but then he'd shake his hand, he'd give him a hug afterwards or something like that, he would showcase, hey, you earn my respect, and that would kind of be a way to turn him face. That's like I said, these are just the other things I'm thinking of, like where they go.
Right. I mean, who knows?
It's tough, but the match is gonna be fire though.
It's gonna be a fire match, and it's tough because it's definitely a thing where I don't want Kyle to lose it now, but like Shotty will be the perfect choice for him to
Right. No, he would be the best choice probably right now. I want to get this out of the way. I'm not a fan of Marina Shafir. Like, I'm just not. Like, I don't like it. Listen, if the problem works for other people, great. This match really didn't do much for me, and I this is like the only time I feel like I've ever actually said that about like Ring of Honor or like even really any like wrestling program with a match like with a talent like usually able to get into that person, give them a shot. But the way she comes out is just like there's nothing to it. Just nothing about the presentation of Marina Shafir really gravitates to me. And I've said this for a while. I think she needs somebody else. Someone's got to be in her corner. Someone's got to talk for her. Somebody, like, she's not as the whole package. I don't see it personally.
Yeah, well, I mean, she doesn't wear shoes, so you know that's already.
That's probably why I hate it. Yeah,
that was already a big thing. Yeah, there's nothing about her that screams. She's not very intimidating. She doesn't have a good look.
She doesn't showcase charisma. Yeah, like she's just there.
Yeah, she's just there. And she would be good. Maybe she would be good as a heavy, like a silent heavy to someone else. Like you said, she probably needs somebody else.
And really, somebody called the problem should be somebody's muscle, somebody's heavy.
Yeah.
Like it kind of makes me think of, remember Tyson Tomko, the problem solver for Christian?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. Like,
I forgot about that.
So Marina Shafir as somebody else's heavy would be perfect.
Yeah, I'm not she came out and I was just like, oh, okay. Cool.
Like Athena, for instance. Let's say Athena just got tired of like all these people coming after her title and her having to fight them off. So she brought in Marina Shafir. Like, I've got all these problems. Well, this is the problem. She's going to take care of him for me. So Marina Shafir just, you know what I mean? Like, that's a way to present her. And now I'm hooked. You know, she's being presented as something valuable. And I got to take note of that. But here it's just she's out there. I'm supposed to look at Marina Shafir as a potential challenger to either Billie Starkz or Athena. And I'm just not buying in.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. Like you said, I think you're heavy for Althea or like Athena, excuse me, or someone like that.
Althea,
like,
you're shooting with Althea.
I'm not
good shooting.
My brain isn't working today. I apologize. But yeah, her being a heavy that doesn't really talk because her talking doesn't really do anything. Like you said, charisma's the best.
Right.
There's not really much there.
And this is what's bad about it. The vignettes did a good job of getting me to care about her again. Like, the vignettes did make me forget that I've never really been impressed with her and almost made me think that something new was happening. But then she comes out and it's the same. And it's just, it's like, I'm not a fan. I wish I was, but I'm not.
I don't like her as a person. Like, I don't really know.
Right. Of course. Right. Like I said, I think there's just I'm not even faulting. Like, yes, I'm not really a fan of hers, but I also feel like ROH could be presenting her a different way.
Yeah, you can't build someone as the problem and build up for all this stuff and then them come out and be mediocre.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, everything about tonight's presentation just didn't work for me. Speaking of presentations not working, what's up? Why didn't Nick Camarado and Jacoby Watts get an entrance? Like, this is an act.
I wrote that in my notes.
Like, you're actually presenting this act to us on a weekly basis. One of the few acts that have a true story that we are following week in. Why no entrance?
Yeah, I wrote that in my notes. I was like, wow, no entrance. I also wish Jacoby wasn't so much. I wish he was more of a partner to Nick than more of a guy who's like just making Nick do all the work and kind of playing him a little bit. I wish that could have been a story later on. You know what I mean?
They're rushing it.
Like they're rushing it, and like I feel like he should be someone that Nick like confides in and like not looks up to, but like kind of falls in line with because he
Nick does look up to him.
Right, but then like having him like I don't like this whole like him playing Nick and not tagging him when he's supposed to and making Nick
the way.
I'm not a big fan of that.
This match, the way this match was, I guess booked really bothered me also because it didn't make any sense the way it happened. Where like Nick Camarado like kind of snaps, right? Because they took out Jacoby Watts, and so he kind of fires up. He shows his strength, takes them both out. This is like the breaking point of this match, right? Where Nick Camarado is showing like, you let the monster loose. But then out of nowhere, he just stares into the camera for way too long. And it's just kind of like, help us, Jacoby. Praise be, Jacoby. Like, it was just so weird. And then all of a sudden, because he decided to forget he was in a match and just stare off in his face for like as long as it took both guys he just overpowered to get up, and now you know what I mean. Like the the match was really awkward.
It was a super awkward match. I don't have gimmicks of characters and not follow through and really give in. Like, really go into this. Like, you can make this such a good thing of him, like, them as a duo, and it's just, again, rushing. I don't know what we're rushing for. Why are we rushing?
Yeah.
Why are we? There's no need.
And speaking of rushing, in terms of not giving us a Jacoby and Nick Comoroto entrance, this show told us that the end time was 8:05. This show did not end at 8:05. Like, that match ended like maybe 8:02.
Yeah.
So they had time left over. You could have given us an entrance, and then also, to the point you're making, you've got time. You don't need to rush with whatever story. So you're right. I would like to see a bit of a true partnership with these two, and not just rush to the Jacoby Watts is manipulating him and Nick Comoroto is kind of mindless.
Because then what? Then you're gonna have Nick and Jacoby have matches against each other for like 2 months, like, and not have any storyline with it. It just doesn't make sense.
Like I said, I think with Jacoby Watts, he's got a great gimmick. There need another person though. Like, he should be constantly getting other people to follow him, and then have a nice little stable going on. But yeah, right now.
Can fight.
But like, my biggest problem with him just having Nick Comoroto is they're not giving Nick Comoroto wins, and Nick Comoroto and Jacoby Watts aren't getting wins. So it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then on to the main event. So I really don't understand why the Iron Savages turned heel. I think it's a giant miss for them. If you turn them heel so that they could actually feud with somebody, maybe I get it. If they like turned heel as part of a story, sure. But now you just turn them heel so that Jack Jameson can rant on the audience, call them fat losers and skinny virgins, and it doesn't seem like what?
No, I was about to say something, but go ahead.
No, it seems like the crowd was with them and when they were baby faces. So at the very least, like, the crowd would actually, like, they were over. And now the crowd seems like they don't really care.
The heel talking shit about the audience seemed very forced. Like, you're afraid of a lap dance. You know what I mean? You're afraid of a lap dance. You're all virgins. Like, it was just a very weird way to get heat. You know, it seemed very forced. It seemed very 101, like something you and I would do playing around, like, in our backyard. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Low blow, cheap blows, like, for, like, not clever.
I mean, it's like if you told a local talent, like, hey, you need to let the fans know that you're the heel. Like, this is what you would do. You would just call them all fat losers. And
I kind of feel that they weren't ready to turn heels. Someone in the back told them, what, like you said, this is what you could. These are examples of things that you would say if you were trying to get heat. And instead of them coming up with their own stuff, they just said exactly what the person.
And then, like I said, in terms of, like, it seemed like Ring of Honor just did it so that they would have a heel team now instead of a face team. And I think the biggest losers are Iron Savages because they were over. And now, like I said, I don't think the fans care anymore. And that's very dangerous when it comes to the Iron Savages because they're way too good for that.
Yeah,
and I just don't really see it. At this point, as a heel team, they're getting wasted. Like, that's my fear.
Where are the Outrunners? Is that their names? The Outrunners? I like those guys. Where are they?
Who knows? They're in ROH Purgatory, yeah.
Oh,
it seemed like they were feuding with the Aventurian, and then we just never saw them again.
I like them.
In fact, they were talking about having like a match where like the loser
has their finisher.
Gives up the finisher, yeah. And then we just never got that.
Right. I like the Outrunners finisher better, to be honest.
Ooh, shots fired.
Shots fired. Pew pew.
Yeah, but yeah. Other than the Iron Savages being heels and like cutting that weird promo, and I'm like kind of like I don't know how this is an improvement to what the Iron Savages were. And then you've got Cole Carter and Griff Garrison with Johnny TV, and it didn't seem like anyone really knew why. And then Dark Order was great, and I love -1 being back on TV. That was cool.
Did you think it was weird that Dark Order got the win?
No, because of everything I just said. I mean, I do think Iron Savages could have used it more, because if you're turning these guys heel, then yeah, you should have given them the win. But the Dark Order is by far like the most established team of these teams, you know, and Iron Savages, like I said, Ring of Honor doesn't seem to know what the fuck they're doing with them. So it 100% made sense to me that the Dark Order would get the win here.
My boy John Silver. I was so excited. I was like, my boy, who never answered my Twitter question. Shit.
What was it again?
I asked him if he's an Islander or Ranger fan. He never answered. In the middle of the NHL finals. Heel. Yeah, this match also too, even though I liked everybody, it was a little clunky. I felt like Cole and Griff and Johnny TV were just crammed together, and they didn't know how to feed off of each other well as a team.
Interesting.
I thought I thought this match was a little clunky, which annoys me because I like everybody in this match. There's not many people I don't like on ROH. I have to say, like, and my frustration is I like all of them so much, and there's so much substance there. And like ROH has all the ingredients, and instead of putting them in the bowl correctly, they're just tossing them around and making a mess of the kitchen.
Exactly. Always making a mess of the kitchen.
Right. And it's very frustrating because all these wrestlers have potential to do something great and make good TV and make good matches and feed off each other. And ROH is just not executing it. And that's my frustration. It's not like, oh, fuck ROH. I love all these wrestlers and there's so much potential. And
it's like, also like, why was this match the main event?
Right.
Like, obviously the ROH TV championship should have been in the main event. I almost feel like the only reason it wasn't is because how could that main event and then you have Cassidy Lee challenge Kyle Fletcher? That wouldn't be able to happen on the same show.
Right.
So I almost feel like they're like, oh, well, let's get the match happening. And then that way, right as Kyle Fletcher is leaving the arena, he can get called out for next week. And we can do that. Right. When they should have just had this main event happen, and then like Cassidy Lee could come out with a microphone and call them out.
Yeah, it makes me very upset.
But yeah, like this match didn't see, like that is the whole thing. It's like, it's great. Dark Order got a win, but okay, now what? We haven't seen the trios champions anywhere on this show in forever, if at all. So it was like, it just seemed like a cool thing. You know what I mean?
Give me a fucking
like
tournament.
It made no fucking sense though.
The best thing that was coming out of ROH, I mean, with a little hiccups, was the women's TV tournament, the TV championship tournament, because at least like each week we had something. These women were fighting for reasons. The matchups were a little weird and out of place, in my opinion. I know we've talked about that it was weird that some people were facing each other more earlier on than others, but at least there was storytelling and at least it was leading up to something, where I feel like none of the matches ever lead.
Yeah, like I said, I just didn't understand why this was the main event. And if Dark Order got a big win, right? Cool. If it leads somewhere, if next week the Bang Bang Gang decides to actually show up with the championships and take on Dark Order, you know, then cool. But this just kind of seemed weird because the TV championship clearly should have been the main event. Right.
Or have these people, whoever wins this match gets a shot at the titles.
Right. Even commentary couldn't save this. It's like the best story commentary was talking about was maybe if Johnny TV or Cole Carter and Griff Harrison learned from Johnny TV, they could be something. And that's kind of where I'm like, maybe we do get that trio. But once again, I don't know if Caprice is just kind of pulling that from thin air, or if ROH actually has plans for them. But only thing we'll have to do is wait and see.
Yeah, Carter and Garrettson could be Johnny's new boys and not leave them on a mountain to get eaten by bears.
Hopefully he wouldn't do that.
Right.
Guys, thanks so much for tuning in every single Thursday. We're going to have to wait and see if ROH takes our notes, see what happens next week. And of course, we've got the big TV championship match that we think is happening next week. Cassidy Lee, Kyle Fletcher, 2 out of 3 falls. So we're looking forward to that. Guys, you are the best. We are just trying to be like you. Never forget, we are not just smart marks. We're